are living inspired. And so in addition to that, I am also an author of Hush, Breaking the Cycle of Silence Around Sexual Abuse. I am also facilitating a group at my church that will be surrounding the book to help women to baggage that's been holding them back from their greatness. And so we're going to be using the book Hush to facilitate that. And it is 8 weeks here in Detroit. So get at me for information on that. I'm also a licensed therapist. I am a life coach. And honey, I am on fire. So let's do this. You can reach me at www.liftlifecoachingsolutions.com. And you can also send me out a text message. Matter of fact, we're going to give our host Lotus some love. So you all text me, Dr. Lotus, and you will get a no-cost 20-minute conversation and exploration with yours truly, myself, Michelle D. Clark, if you text me at 586-298-2121, and I will put all that in the chat. I love you all and see you on the flip side. Love you to life. Oh, and now I am going to pass the microphone to, I'm going to scroll. Miss Tina Ezel. Miss Tina, have you been up yet? Let's go. Let's go.
Well, hello and good evening. I'm so happy to be here and see everyone here this afternoon. And I'm going to introduce what I do. I am the manager and promoter of Heights One Productions. We produce and write songs for ourselves and others. And I am also a relationship marketing strategist. I teach people how to stand out by sending heartfelt cards to new and existing clients. This is a great tool to use so that you and your company can stand out. Okay, I'll pass the mic to the Victorious Walk speak yet? Okay, I'm gonna pass it to LaWanna Parker. Did LaWanna Parker speak?
I'm here.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Hi, I'm LaWanna Parker, and I'm the author of Courage to Live My Dreams. I'm also called the Journal Coach, and I do what I do is I teach people to get started journaling, and through journaling they can help to release stress and tension and increase well-being. My thing is to help you get your thoughts out of your head and put it on paper so you become a much stronger and more confident individual. You can learn more information about me by reading my blog, which is at lawannasblog.com. And I'm happy to be aboard. So who do I want to pass it to? Can't tell who's done. Michelle, have you gone?
It's your girl Precious Williams coming back at you again, the killer pitch master, proud founder and CEO of Perfect Pitches by Precious, and I am not done with you yet. Woo!
Hey. Lotus, I have to just say thank you so much. That was a great intro. I got tears in my eyes. I have literally tears in my eyes. Y'all know I am Precious Williams, proud founder and CEO of Perfect Pitches by Precious. And I got some questions for y'all. I got some real questions. Y'all see this thing? Where the money reside? Where the money reside? Where the money reside? Where the money reside? You know where the money resides? It resides in your pitches. Whether that's an elevator pitch, a media pitch, an investor pitch, a speaker pitch, a sales pitch, or even an interview pitch. I know some of y'all wondering where that money at. I know some of y'all are like, can I get someone to invest in my company? What can I say at a networking event that gets people to be in the inbox, in the chat trying to get at me? Instead of like, sound like everybody else tired and through. I know some of y'all would love to just get on television and open yourself up to a brand new market. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm from the inner city of St. Louis, Missouri. St. Louis, Missouri. First person in my family to go to college, law school, and all of that, and then straight pivoted to start my first company, Curvy Girls Lingerie. The only problem was I was 327 pounds, dating a very famous Hollywood actor. How did I get him? A bad bitch with a power pitch. If you want to be a bad bitch with a power pitch, I suggest we don't talk about this today. If I can get a very famous Hollywood actor, 327 pounds, size 28, if I could get on Shark Tank, CNN, Wall Street Journal, movies and documentaries around the world, being on private jets with Sir Richard Branson and Jack Canfield, Chicken Soup for the Soul, baby, I am who I say I am. I am the killer pitch master, and I'm here to help you slay all competition. I am a 13 out of 14 time national elevator pitch champion. And I'm someone who's gone through hell and back to get to where I am today. When I wrote my first book, Bad Bitches and Power Pitches, I literally had just walked out of homelessness. So yeah, that big life I had with Shark Tank and all those great things that I did, when the love of my life, that actor died, something in me died. I could not function. I became a severe alcoholic and I lost everything. I went from the big life to a blue dress, a blue coat, and a book bag. I walked into the Bowery Mission Women's Center with my head held down after trying to take my life. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it a buck. All I know is how to keep it a buck. By keeping it a buck, I was in that program for 2 years. It wasn't rehab. It was a Christ-centered life transformation program. When you ask me with the blue, this is true blue. That's all I know how to be is true blue. I'm a Spelman woman. I'm a Rutgers School of Law grad. I'm a former award-winning attorney in the great state of New York. But at the end of the day, when I walked out of the Bowery Mission on September 1st, 2018, I had a high-paying job that I did not want. I wanted to be the killer pitch master again. And this time I was going to do it right. It wasn't about achievements. It wasn't about television. It wasn't about fame. It was about showing women how to go from where they are to being bad bitches with power pitches. Now, I know that's not for everybody. But when I wrote that book, I wanted to show y'all how I went from no money to rock bottom, all the way to being a corporate trainer for LinkedIn, Google, and Microsoft, Federal Reserve Bank, Intuit QuickBooks, NBC Universal, you name it. This year I spoke at Harvard University, the business school. I used to be called too fat, too black, and didn't have an Ivy League degree, yet I'm teaching at Harvard though. What are we talking about? So when I wrote Bad Bitches and Power Pitches, I wanted to empower women that no matter how high up the food chain you are, some of us deal with confidence issues and we don't go after what it is that we want. I don't know if y'all can tell, I'm not 327 pounds, I'm about 215, 220. And you know what, that has not stopped me. I am Black on both sides. There's nothing ambiguous about me. I don't have a Brazilian butt lift. I don't have six-pack abs. And yet I walk into these companies like I own it. Why? Because I finally stepped into my power. As a killer pitch master, I want to unlock your dreams. No matter where you are right now, there's something you haven't given yourself permission to do. And as the great Ty Goodwin always says, until you step into your purpose, another woman can't step in hers. And as a trailblazer, I took all the knocks, the bruises, the bumps, the scrapes to make it possible to show other women you don't have to look, sound, and act like anybody else. When I wrote Bad Bitches and Power Pitches for a certain type of woman, you want to break out of the box? You want to break out of the box society puts you in? You want to break out of the box you put yourself in? This is the book for you. And no, it's not just a book, learn how to pitch. This is the psychology of pitching. The psychology. There are 7 branding personas to pitching. 7. So let me give it to y'all. So y'all can see that this is not the normal book. It's not just prompts. No. Here are the 7 branding bitches and personas. Unstoppable, power, creative, funny, mysterious, flawed. Are you ruled by numbers? Once you understand what your power is and where your power lies, I wrote another book that teaches you how to write those. And before I go any further, if all of you would listen, go to this website, pitchingforprofit.com. You don't have to put www in front of it. Just go on it and put pitchingforprofit.com, and you can take my free 6-question quiz, and it'll show you how to start pitching better. The reason why it's important for you all to know how to pitch is because people think that pitching is all about being on Shark Tank and in the media or to investors. You pitch every day. When you are talking about that no good man, no good woman in your life, the job you love, the job you hate, an opportunity that has come your way, you're pitching. Imagine what would happen if you added strategy, cunning, and precision to it. I wrote 3 #1 best-selling books, 2 reviewed by Forbes magazine. I'm Black on both sides, y'all. And how did I do that? Coming out of homelessness and severe alcohol addiction. 3 years ago, I walked out. Yesterday, I had an interview with the Wall Street Journal. I'm now starting to work with Yelp. Think about that. LinkedIn is my biggest client. Do y'all see how I look? Do I look like the average random ordinary? No, and they don't worry about how I come in. I'm coming as colorful and I'm authentically me. I'm deeply flawed, but you know, I'm unstoppable. If Oprah gets on the elevator with me, I'm going ham and cheese on her. I ain't talking about, oh, I love you, Oprah. I don't want her, none of that. I'm going ham and cheese, and I'm gonna show her why she should pick me for something. So what is pitching? Pitching in a nutshell is you want to get someone interested in your book, your brand, your business, your product or service, an idea, and you want to whet their appetite. So if it's like someone in your family cooks really well, you're going over their house, it's the holidays. What you want to do is we put everything on your plate. Everybody says grace. That first, the big plate you have, that's your career, your business, your products, your service, everything. That first fork you take is your pitch. Why? Because you want to give them a juicy morsel, a little taste of more to come. So some people think of pitching as, oh, if you don't, you got to make the sale immediately. No. You want to get to the next level with that person. Some people will buy on the spot. Some people are just so intrigued, they want to have a meeting with you. They may want to bring other people in with you. I don't know if y'all know, I'm in Indiana right now. I'm in Indianapolis, Indiana, here to speak at a high 6-figure, 7-figure mastermind this entire weekend. When I say I'm booked and busy, now I say I'm booked and blissful. But you don't have to take my word for it. My clients, their testimonials are what makes this book worth it. When you have clients that never pitched before walking into a competition and winning $7,500 or $50,000 on television, 7 of my clients have been on Shark Tank and been successfully invested in. I was on Shark Tank in season 8 in 2016. To think of the things I've been on magazine covers and stuff like that. But my clients are out there winning 2-year corporate training contracts at EA Sports, and they're social workers. Think about that. So yeah, I may work with the biggest companies in the world, but I also work with successful women, entrepreneurs and speakers, and even men too. Men buy this book because they see the value. But this book was written especially for women because I want you to give birth to your next beautiful now. Your next beautiful now. And if you really want to know how to pitch, there are too many people who will give you a formula, and that's cute, and I'll roll all over you in competition. I will. And my clients will. You have to understand who you are and what your strengths are. There are too many people who are going to say, because you are a woman of color, a man of color, you're differently able, LGBTQ. You know what I'm going to tell you? These are your perceived flaws. Make them your secret weapon. They already dismissed you, so they'll never see your talent coming. And then you shut it down. And as a killer pitch master, I am honored to help you see that you pitch each and every day. So if you want a #1 bestseller selling book, if you're a speaker and you want to get paid speaking engagements, if you want to go to these events and really stand out, listen, I don't know who's going to be here all weekend, but I can tell you they rolled out the red carpet. I got out of a Tesla with the butterfly doors. I just came back from a lunch right before here, and I'm just like, this is how you're treated when you create your own lane. So if you are looking for that type of thing, and Lotus, I don't know if I'm running out of time. I just want to make sure you tell me if I'm on time. But I really wanted you all to know that when I wrote this book, I didn't think it was going to be a bestseller. I wrote it, we put it out there, shot to #1, and Forbes called me. Y'all see I'm Black on both sides. I didn't grow up with connections. I grew up as an abused and unwanted child who now sees the value in helping other women get to where they need to go. and to look back and say they wasted time listening to other people who had never done what they wanted to do, and they went out and did it. Oprah's not the only one. All of these women aren't the onlys. There's so many of us. And if we take the brakes off of our dreams and go ham and cheese and peanut butter and jelly on them, the way I'm talking to you today is how I go into LinkedIn, Google, and Microsoft. It's how I go into the Federal Reserve Bank. It's how I'm a keynote speaker at bank events. Think about that, y'all. Do I come across as conservative? And I'm a former attorney. But my thing is, I asked y'all a question when I started. Where the money reside? Where the money reside? Where the money reside? Where the money reside? And my queen made this jacket for me. Her name is Denisha McPherson. And as you can see, she put this on. Wait, okay, where the money reside, and then my logo. You know when y'all are looking at yourself, this is my logo right here. And on the back, I hope y'all can see, Killer Pitch Master and Pitch Please. That is what can happen when you make a name for yourself and people love you so much that they'll come to your events and make something for you. You didn't even ask for it. And I'm so honored. That's why I'm true blue in these streets. I would be honored if you all would purchase my book, Bad Bitches and Power Pitches for Women Entrepreneurs and Speakers Only. You can get this on Amazon along with my other books. But this is the book that set it off. This is the book that will give you your fire back. This is the book when people keep talking reckless and telling you what you can't do, you hold your hand up, pitch please. I'm about to pitch my way into greatness. And so I really want to thank you all. Am I out of time, Lotus? I just want y'all to just know, you can get this on Amazon, you can get it from my website. And again, please go to the website, pitchingforprofit.com, take my free 6-question quiz, and it will send you a free. Okay, it will send you, how much time I got, girl? It will send you, oh, girl, you ain't said nothing. I don't know if, okay. We definitely do. And Queen, do I answer questions now, or can I just keep going? Okay, so again, in writing this book, it came out of the most beautiful place. When you know what your purpose is, it makes everything so much easier. I grew up wanting to be like Perry Mason and be better than Johnny Cochran. What I didn't realize is I didn't have to do it in law. When I see these wonderful women and they show up at events, and I can see that there's more in them than just working for other companies. There's more. I didn't write this book thinking I'd be a #1 bestseller. I wrote this book because I had to get what was out of me, in me, out of me. And I want to show women you do not have to look like and sound like and act like a TikToker. You don't have to have your whole body cut up and done up. If that's what you want, that's great. You can come in with authenticity, transparency, and kill the game. I was 327 pounds when I was winning pitch competitions. My first pitch got me on national television. My second pitch got me $500,000 in 54 seconds. So if you want to learn from the best who have ever done it, I'm sure there are women who've raised more, but I did it for 2 years. And then I went on to start Perfect Pitches by Precious. And as a proud founder and CEO of Perfect Pitches by Precious, I'm a world-class master communicator. And you don't ever have to take my word for it. If you go on my LinkedIn profile, Precious L. Williams, Killer Pitch Master, I have over 160 testimonials in the last year and a half. What does that tell you? From the biggest companies to speakers and entrepreneurs, what I've been able to do. And I love what I do from the bottom of my heart. And if I could leave y'all with anything today, create your own lane. You're not just writing a book. You have to speak to the soul of people. People hear all the time about joy and all that kind of stuff, and it doesn't really resonate. Speak to where they are. I came from the gutter. I came from the mud. And I can tell you, having been there and where I am today, being flued out like Instagram body, this feels good because I'm in my zone of genius. I'm not here to write anybody else's books. I'm here to be the killer pitch master that Robert Townsend and MC Light gave me in my last competition on May 16, 2013, the Black Enterprise National Elevator Pitch Competition, where I won hands down and got that title, Killer Pitch Master. I am honored to stand before you, having gone through all that I've done and not ashamed of anything that has happened to me. I'm not ashamed that I'm not an attorney. because I do so much more now by unlocking the gift of speech in other people. If you want to get into the inboxes and get media people to booking producers and everybody to really hear you, you've got to truly set yourself apart, and not in the way that you think. You've got to really see what's going on in the marketplace, see what you're doing, and exploit the gaps. Most people won't tell you that. They'll just regurgitate what the gurus say, and then you won't get anywhere. Vanity metrics, likes don't pay the bills. Let me show you how to convert. Let me show you how to truly strategize with cunning and precision, how to slay all competition. Again, my name is Precious Williams, and I'm the proud founder and CEO of Perfect Pitches by Precious. My book is Bad Bitches and Power Pitches for women entrepreneurs and speakers only. Don't be afraid to be bold, and fortune favors the bold. My book, Bad Bitches and Power Pitches. Thank you. Y'all make me feel so lovely. Thank you.
Yeah.
Globally.
Jerusalema ikayalami ilonoloze uhambe nami zungangishilana dawo yami ayikholana buso wami awukholana ilonoloze uhambe nami no lo sé, Sumangishilana, no lo sé, Suhambenami, Daoyami, Aikolana, Busoami, Aukolana. No lo sé, Suhambenami. No lo sé, no lo sé, no lo sé, Sumangishilana. No lo sé, no lo sé. No lo sé, Sumangishilana. No lo sé, no lo sé, no lo sé, Sumangishilana. Aukulana, no lo sé. Suhambenami, Daoyami, Aikolana, Busoami, Aukolana, no lo sé.
I'm a survivor. I survived the brokenness of losing a loved one. I was at the end of my ropes until I did these three things. You see, COVID-19 has claimed over 600,000 lives. These aren't numbers. These are human beings with names and families. And these families are suffering in silence. And today, I'm the co-host of Sean Fair Consulting Group. I am the host of 2 TV shows. I'm an author of 4 publications. And I stand here, a speaker at this conference. And so I say to all of you, in order for you to heal, you must do these 3 things. Grieve, get professional help, and get up, get going, do something. For you too can be a survivor from the brokenness of losing a loved one. And you can find me on any channel because I am.
Thank you so much, everybody. Wow, I am just so grateful to have a mentor and a special friend, Dr. Lotus Richey. Y'all, let's give it up for Lotus. And Miss Precious, woo-wee girl, you are hot. And I tell you, I'm gonna get your book so I can be pitched. I know I'm already a bitch, so I might as well be a bitch, perfect bitch. I'm just so delighted to be able to grace this time to spend with you. And like my video says, that I am a survivor. Can you imagine coming from being in the Army Nurse Corps as a colonel? 3 things against you: Black, female, and an officer. So I was expected to fail. Do you guys know how many Black female lieutenant colonels we have out there? Very, very few. That's not by accident. So you have to push and be better than your counterpart. So I faced many trials and tribulations, but they weren't aware that I had one special fighting thing in my pocket. You know what that is? That's the Lord. And what the Lord has for me, no one or nothing can take what he has for me. My surviving started as a child when I was 6 years old, and we had a fire at our house, and my 3-month-old baby brother died in the fire, and I watched that. My mom, who went in to try to save him, couldn't save him. So somehow me at 6 years old was able to drive her, to pull her to safety and run to get help. So that was my first dealing with loss that I knew of. Second, I watched my friends that were gunned down at Fort Hood, Texas. These friends, all of us, when we went to in process, we'd have to go to Fort Hood, and we would in process to be deployed. And so my friends had just gone down there, and I was still at Fort Lewis at the time. So we heard that there was a shooting. And so we didn't think anything of it because we knew our friends had gone down to our process and to in process, because she wanted to go to Afghanistan to help people. So we never thought that the friends that we sent would be involved in that shooting. As a matter of fact, Fort Hood, because I was stationed at Fort Hood at Darnell Hospital. And so when I heard the news that our friend had been gunned down by a Major Nadal Hussein, devastating. He killed many soldiers. These soldiers were just in processing to go out to war. So I also being the chief of case management at Brooke Army Medical Center right here in Fort Sam, San Antonio, Texas. I watch soldiers every day, being the chief of inpatient and outpatients, come back from the war, battered, bruised, blown, extremities blown apart by IEDs. And for y'all that know what that is, that's an improvised explosive device. These soldiers come back and they transition from lawn stool. Planes pick them up and bring them to our burn unit, which is at Fort Sam, is the #1 burn unit for all military personnel. So they come there. And I had a chance to meet with the family members. These are your sons, your brothers. We're talking 19 and 21-year-old who go over, and they just so happen to be out front, at the front line, and someone runs over an IED. And here they come back, life forever changed. So I had the privilege of talking to them once they recovered from their burns, moans and groans of dressing changes, of being debrided. I had to call on the Lord for strength. Some of them losing their sights, losing part of their face. The people that you see now with the artificial legs, Fort Sam, their orthopedic department has won many awards for creating extremities that look more like the soldiers, because long time ago, there was like one choice that you'd get for to put on for your leg. But now they've got them all different colors, artificial hand, no more of those hooks. I mean, we're talking hands that you can't even tell. So look where the Lord brought them from. Then personal loss again, I watched. Well, my mom died the day before Mother's Day. And the Spirit told me to call her. And I obeyed after 3 times, because I was going to go home on convalescent leave. And again, that's another military term for going home, and you take 30 days and you can spend time. You wouldn't have to be worried about anybody calling you or call to duty. And she was going to pick me up that Wednesday. So that Saturday, right before Mother's Day, the Spirit told me to call her. And so after I did, we talked for 11 minutes. My mom was in great health. Matter of fact, the day before, she and the ladies had gone walking and they picked strawberries, just your typical Southern mother. The next morning at 8 a.m., I got a call from my sister that said my mom died in her sleep. Again, I had to pull on the Spirit of the Lord to help me through that, because I was still military. And yes, I went home for the funeral, but I had to come back and still watch soldiers moan and had no place to go, because some of them, the families didn't want them back because they didn't know how to take care of them. So we had to find them somewhere to go. Still, my sister, who is 2 years younger than I am, I don't want to say a special sister, but she was, because all of us believed in the Lord. She called me one day and said, "Sis, I've got a tumor that's on my left arm, and it's a sarcoma. And I want to try to save my hand." That's what she said. So I told her, "Well, send me the x-rays so I can look at them." She sent me the x-ray, and the only thing you could see was the hand falling off, and bones and ligaments and attached. And I screamed in horror because I knew she was going to lose that arm. But she kept the faith. So that week, my sisters, and I tell you, if there's 14 of us, 7 girls and 7 boys, but my sisters, all of us flew to Baltimore, Maryland to see her in the hospital. So we went into her room one by one. She screamed so loud because, can you imagine, from the youngest sister to the oldest walking in one by one? she cried so hard. And then I noticed that they had already amputated her left arm up to the shoulder. But the doctor told us she was going to go home, and us sisters, we were going to get together and just have a great time in Baltimore, Maryland, because we're going to pack up and we're going to have dinner. And then she's going to go home with me because naturally I'm the one that's medical. So sure, I'm taking care of my sister. We left and came back the next day, and we're packing her stuff, and her surgeon walks in and says, Dr. Fournier, come with me. And so he took me down to the laboratory and showed me in this microscope, cancer cells dancing around. And I had no clue of why he was showing me that. And he says, this cancer is spread all the way up to the shoulder of your sister. She can't go home. Matter of fact, we've got to amputate tonight. That's what he told me. And I was just in horror because we had just told her that she's going home. And you had just amputated her arm. She had not even left the hospital yet. And yet again, I had to come back, enter her room, and she knows me like a book. And she just screamed out, sister, what's the matter? But the doctor told her she couldn't go home because the cancer had spread. And so we had tickets already to fly back, because when we had gone home that evening, we got tickets for everybody to fly back home. And I had a ticket for her to fly to my house. So we sat there crying and stuff, trying to figure out what can we do, because we had jobs to get back to. And remember, I was still in the military, so I had to get back. And we came there not to leave her alone, and yet I had to fly back. All of us had to walk out of her room in horror to leave her still by herself. How horrible, how horrible. And before we could even get a flight back and go to our plane, they called and said she died from complications, because they had gone in and decided to do the surgery without contacting us. And so we had to go back to that hospital knowing that she had died. So talk about calling on the Lord for support, because at that point I'd had it. Now you took my brother, you took my mom and my father, who died a year after, and that's typically the way it is. They had been married 50 years, and usually that's the way it is. So he had died on Father's Day of all days. Then my sister. Then I had two brothers to die, and I had it. And I was angry at the Lord for taking away my family without giving me support. But he told me, look, I've been with you through it all. I never left you. And you've got to trust me. And those three things, the ones that were on the screen, was grieve, get professional help, because we as healthcare providers are usually ashamed to even admit that we need help. Look at what's happening now. Look at COVID. We're on the front line, our healthcare workers. Nurses are tired. Healthcare workers are tired of seeing your loved one come in and die without you. They have to look through a shield, and the last thing they see is us. And yet people won't take the vaccines. It just floors me. These 99.5, I think it's now in the 80.5% of the people that are in our hospitals are the ones that are not vaccinated. Those are the ones that are dying and trading it to your sons, to your daughters, to you, and they have no symptom. But those who are compromised and have symptoms come into the emergency room. Don't forget, we still have to treat people with heart attacks and other things. There are no rooms. The beds are filled to capacity. So you have to ask yourself, where am I gonna go when or if I get COVID being unvaccinated. Now, my husband and I have had both of our shots, our booster, and yesterday we got our flu vaccine because we believe that in order to preach, you've got to have something to preach about. And so we are examples on what you should do. My books. The first one was The Color of Power. And this is the one I wrote when I was going through all the dilemma. And the colors represent the times that I went through my trials and tribulations. But like I said, the Lord said he was with me at all times. So I tell about the colors and their significance biblically, what they mean and how you come out of them. Second book, Preparing for the Harvest. I don't know if you can see that, but they're all on Amazon. Preparing for the Harvest, planting good seed for the kingdom. If y'all haven't figured this out yet, we're in the last days. And so you better be prepared. With COVID, those are just the plagues. He's going to take you. Don't be amongst the weeds and don't be chosen. Third book. Being a hospice nurse for over 45 years and an end-of-life trainer, I cannot tell you how many times I've had to go and pronounce people who have died that had children. The children had no idea what was going on because the parents were going through themselves. So I decided to devote a series of books to children explaining hospice, explaining death and dying. And I created it biblically so they can get some religion just in case they're not in church. I talk about everything in the book, and I put all kinds of things that they would enjoy reading and have fun reading, yet getting educated. All about death and dying and what hospice is. And then there's a part in the back of it for the parents. So parents will know we don't have to pay for this. Medicare pays for this. Next book, a continuation of Mary Goes to Hospice. This is Sammy Searches for God's Love. And this is a year after the death of his sister, who was only 9 years old. He watched that and he had lots of questions. So Sammy finds out what's this all about, and he doesn't forgive God for taking his child, like I didn't forgive God. So he runs away, joins the gang, does all kinds of things. But the Lord was with him too. He helped him out and showed him that all you have to do is believe and trust in me. Next book that will be out in October is called Ariel Joy. Ariel is in the Bible. She is the lioness of God. This book is about the fight, the last fight of good and evil, the Armageddon. And Ariel is chosen to lead this war. She meets up with John, the disciples, all the people in the Bible. The Lord puts her in charge, and they each conquer evil. It's a war out there. It's a war where we are. So we had best be educated, be aware, and be ready when the Lord calls, because he's coming back with all power. And I'm so grateful for the platforms that he has given me to be able to reach out to people and let them know help is on the way. It doesn't cost you a dime to be on my show. I waived that $100 and just said, people can come on the show and talk about what they've gone through, because I am doing what the Lord says to do. Educate and feed my people, because he's coming back. And I want him to say to me, well done, good and faithful servant. My books, all of them are on Amazon. Got a couple of bestsellers that I have posted, three bestsellers from being a co-author. And I am happy to say that my girl Lotus and I, we have a book that we're going to put together, and you know it's going to be bestseller. And it's titled Surviving Marriage When a Child Dies. I tell you, a lot of people don't want to talk about death and dying, but that's exactly what we're going to do. That's exactly what we're going to do. And whether you prepare, you don't want to talk about it, it's going to happen. That's the only way we're going to get to heaven and be judged. And so he has chosen me to do it. And damn it, I'm going to do it. I'm the colonel, and that's what the colonel says. At ease.
I mean, I heard that.
Yeah.
Woohoo. All right now.
No, I saw it. I said, yes. Someone else did. They bought the book. Someone else bought the book and the workbook too. I was like, go ahead.
Because I want to be able to be one of those power pitchers so that I can influence as many people as I can to use my services and to buy my book that's coming out soon.
Ooh, that's what I'm talking about, Queen. Thank you so much for supporting me in my business journey.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Oh, wow. I tell you, it's so huge that it's hard to really put into words for this Precious. Um, all I could do was just say, wow. And to hear your story, your journey, and to be so so open and honest. And you don't hear that very much. And it gives us who are out here with our own journey and our own challenges, it gives us some inspiration to go ahead and go after our dreams and to really find our place and our space and to make sure that our voice is heard, because we all have something of value that's important, because we're all been born with gifts that we're blessed with. And it's a dishonor to the Most High if we don't use them to our fullest. And that also goes to you, Colonel Margaret, for your journey. A lot of us have gone through a lot of losses. I have myself gone through quite a few losses, especially in the last few years. But this year, particularly, I've lost lots of family members in the last 3 years. I'll put it that way. And I actually had 3 close family members that I lost at one time due to domestic violence. And that was something that I didn't know that I was going to actually live through, because I'd actually lost my mother and my grandmother just prior to that. And so this year I lost this past year I've lost my father and a host of friends and cousins. And so, and I lost my uncle. It's just been a lot. And so to hear your journey and to give us some extra words of wisdom and tools, and I do know for a fact that you have to have some type of strong faith to get you through. And by you continuing to press on and give us those golden nuggets that you have to rely on. I know some people don't believe in God, but I do. And I believe in the power of prayer and how he can get you through some of the most toughest times. And I commend both of you for all that you do for everyone.
So much,
that's
thank you so much, Queen Phyllis.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Lotus, you looking like a snack today. I see you.
Yes.
Colonel.
I bought both the book and the workbook. Hmm. Well, actually, that was very easy. She's totally opposite of me, and I just felt I needed some of that that energy that she was exuding there. And I thought, okay, let me read what she has to say because maybe I could grab onto some of what she has. That's not me, and it probably wouldn't work for me, but it might give me something more of what I already have by reading what you're sharing with us. So
You
that's
know,
why I bought your
Luana,
book and the
Luana,
workbook.
I work with introverts, extroverts, and ambiverts. I don't want you to be a carbon copy of me. You have your own strengths, and I'm gonna pull it out so that you lead from your strengths and not be worried about what you listen. There's a lot of things. I'm not a tech person,
Mhm.
but you know what? I showed up on Zoom.
There you go. And Dr. Fournier, I so admire the stories that you share.
Yes.
And I know exactly what you were talking about. Last year for COVID alone, I lost 6 members in my family. And not even talking about the other deaths that was before, just natural causes and whatnot. So I understand. And then you said surviving marriage after losing a child. That really struck home for me because I lost a child and my husband and I split up for a while. We didn't know how to handle it, and so I'm anxious to read what you have to say. Uh, I I work with a lot of women, and some of them go through what you're talking about. So I'm anxious to see how you handle it, and maybe I can help them better in what
Right.
they do.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
Thank you.
Oh, here she go.
Oh my gosh, and I'm going to have to miss it. I have to leave in a few minutes. I'm so sorry. But ladies, the only thing I can say is please continue doing what you're doing. There are many of us out there that need to hear what you have to say, and you make a difference. You help somebody, so keep it up. And thank you for
So
allowing me
much,
these few
Luana.
minutes. Mhm.
Well.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. Well, I did buy the workbook. I bought both books. And the reason I bought the book is because I want to be a bad bitch. I tell you,
That's what I'm talking about.
people need. I'm a nurse practitioner, and the community needs what I have, and I want to be able to have a killer pitch. I want to be able to use my voice. Is in the power of the tongue, and I want to make sure what I say penetrates. I want to make sure that what I am saying touches someone's heart, be able to educate and let them know that their health matters, that they matter, and that we need to educate and be able to let people know that and have the power to change their health, mentally and physically. And so that's why
And that's something I didn't. I'm like, God, you blessed me with a gift. And had I been successful in taking my own life, I wouldn't have lived to see that it does get better. I would have never have seen that my grandmother, who prayed over my battered and bruised body, that she used to tell me, "World's gonna know your name." She said, "Oprah's gonna know your name. You're a star, and not a star for fame, but like you change people's lives." And when I became authentic and transparent, and not like everything in my life is perfect, oh my God, like none of that. Just like, listen, I'd have been to hell and back. I ain't ashamed. I'm like Martin Lawrence, run, tell it. Because I'm gonna tell it first, and I'm gonna tell it the right way versus what somebody's gonna lie about. So, been an addict, been homeless, been through some terrible situations, and the reason why I smile today is because I lived through, survived, and thrived in a pandemic. Don't y'all want to know how to pitch better than anything else and not let the past dictate your present? We live in a time that my grandparents didn't have the opportunity to just pitch their way in anything. They went to work, provided for their kids and stuff like that. We are our ancestors' wildest dreams. And I am as emotional as the first time when my first book was purchased, because so many people write books no one wants to read. And Lotus, for you providing this opportunity for us to showcase our books is beautiful. And Colonel, I'll be at Sean Fayer's event next weekend in Detroit. Not sure if you're gonna be there, but I'll be there. Might not have as her, but you know, I'll be there.
And Dr. Rashay, can I add that I also purchased the Colonel's book, but I purchased her book a couple of weeks ago. I did. I purchased her book a couple of weeks ago. And the reason I purchased her book is because I love the Colonel. I love everything about her. And I want to know what those colors mean, what the biblical reference are to those colors. And so I have not read the book, but I have purchased the book, and I look forward to definitely reading it and just to hear her speak on that particular book. I'm very excited, and I just want to say thank you. And we are tired. And self-care and taking care of ourselves as nurses in this pandemic, we have not been doing that because we're the caregivers. But we have to take care of ourselves, because if we don't take care of ourselves, how can we take care of someone else?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Thank you for having me on. And so I did buy Miss Precious Williams' book already. while she was talking. And the reason is because I want to have, work on my boldness, because I have a message to give. I've worked for 38 years in traditional medicine, working in healthcare. And I have identified in the last 10 years, holistic health, and ways to heal outside of traditional medicine. And what I want is to have the boldness to encourage and push people to look at those alternative methods. Like Your Doctor's Not the Boss of You is a book that I wrote back in 2018. And not that it's a doctor bashing book at all. We have to work with the doctor. He has these ideas and ways to heal you, but then sometimes he doesn't have a way to heal you.
That's right.
So let's look at those other ways. And so I want to have that boldness to say, hey, wake up and let's look at some other ways that you can heal. So thank you so much for the possibility of being bold and saying, let's upgrade, let's level up and look outside of traditional medicine to heal your body, your mind, your spirit, your soul. So that's why I bought the book. Thank you. Well, yeah, I do. And I want to ask Dr. Margaret, working in healthcare, and people want to heal, but people don't want to pay for the healing. And I was wondering if they want to pay, they want to heal in all areas of their life, even in their business, but they don't want to shell out the money. And I was wondering, do you have any formula or any ideas, or what do you do when you know it's something that the person needs and then they just don't want to shell out $10 to even get the information?
Well, it's just like, it's right now. People will refuse to take free the vaccine, yet they go and purchase this medicine that's for livestock. You got to pay for that. That I don't understand why they would do that. But a friend told me that it is the marketing package and the way it's put out. If the way the information is put out is incorrect, but you're a believer, you're not going to change that person's mind.
Right.
And just like the opposite, if I am given scientific fact and I believe and trust in that, you're not going to change my mind about anything else. Being in the military, all that's free because all those people that are in the military get free care. Yet they choose still not to get it. And there again, it's the packaging and what you believe, what your experiences are, what you hear. And if you hear negativity and things that are not true, it's like I had my own cousin tell me he's I think maybe 20 something. He wasn't going to take it because it may destroy his ability to have children. Now, come on. Are you going to be laying up in a hospital? Or are you going to be thinking about having sex or having some children when you can't breathe on a ventilator? But it makes, it doesn't resonate. It's still, he heard that she heard that she heard that he heard, and it passes down. And that belief is, they don't trust healthcare workers anymore.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right.
Yes, can you hear me? Yes, I'm trying to order it. I'm trying to order it on Amazon right now. I'm having a problem because I can't remember my password. I'm gonna be getting it out of a little technology challenge. So, and the way that I got here today, it's nothing but God. I took an entrepreneur's training class, and my teacher was telling me there was a business plan class coming up. And so I texted him and said, "Hey, when's it coming up?" And he sends me a flyer, and it's not a business plan contest; it's a pitching contest. And I was like, "Oh my God, no, I can't do this." Because I had heard these other women. I live in Atlanta. I'm a part of the Land Black Chambers. And one of our members, she got third place, and she's like part of the Maxwell group, whatever. And I'm thinking, okay, I can't do that. And so then when I woke up this morning, God put it on my mind that I needed to do this pitch contest. And he started giving me the things to say. And I'm in the process of writing my first book called Christian Scene. So my book is already been edited. So I have a part on purpose. What's the purpose of my book? How to use my book. I have an elevator pitch. So what did I do is just everything he gave me, I already had. I just put it together. And I already wrote it out, how I'm going to say it, PowerPoint with pictures and everything. And so then I'm a member of my CAPA. And I went to their meeting today, and I was telling them about the pitch, about what I just told you, and they referred me to you, Precious. So I go on CAPA, and I'm looking you up, and then this comes up. I've never heard of Books to Boom. So this is definitely a God thing. And Precious, when you were talking, I was tearing up because I've been through divorce, got left with 3 children, and one of them had mental illness. So it's been through hell. But we got the accident. My dad was in the military. He's a retired colonel. He was in the hospital. We went to see him. He was stubborn, wouldn't let me drive, and we ended up in a rollover car accident. So it's been a lot. So you women, you just really touched me. But I said to myself, I'm going to do this pitch thing. And so when I saw your books, I'm like, okay, I got to order them. And like I said, before I could order them, this came on. So this is just amazing. You women are definitely inspirational. I'm going to do this pitch and I'm going to kill it. And I'm just so excited and so thankful. When you talk about reading books, all the books I've been reading, the webinars and stuff I go to, so many people have been saying you have to have counsel, you have to have mentors. And I just thank you for speaking into my life, being bold and courageous. And women, we go through hell, but we just keep on going.
That's right.
And I have a thing in my closet. It says, angels have wings that even when they're broken, we fly. So I hearing your story, Precious, that's rough, but you brought yourself up. And you too, Colonel. It's like to make it in the Army. My dad was in 28 and a half years. So wow. It was not easy being a dependent. So I know that you've gone through a whole lot. So my hat's off to both of you women. And thank you so much for this forum.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me be here and talk.
You know, everybody wants to get their business booming. They want to get their business booming right where they are and globally. Well, guess what? There are books that can help you get your business booming. And I am Dr. Lotus Richey from Lotus Richey Ignites Coaching and Consulting, and I'm here to bring to you speakers, authors, and change makers that's going to help you get your business booming. So come on in and get in where you fit in, because I've got amazing speakers like Precious the Killer Pitch Master Williams, and of course, the Colonel, Margaret Fournier coming straight to you on this free, check it out, free webinar on books to get your business booming right here in this private Zoom room. And guess what? We're going global because we're going to also show it on Facebook Live. So we'll see you there. Get in where you fit in and get books that get your business booming. See you on the other side.
Awesome.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and happy Friday. Thank you, Dr. Lotus, and to my fellow authors, Precious and Colonel Margaret. Great to see you all. Happy Friday, happy Friday, happy Friday. I was trying to get on this thing. I had been in meetings and stuff all day, and I was like, I got to get on at least to say hello. So I'm the author of Collect the Cash. The sale is not complete until the money's in the bank. As President would say, where the money resides, where the money resides, where the money resides. I teach business owners the art and science of collecting the cash. And I teach you through three things: problem solving, customer service, and above my head, it says gratitude. But to learn more about that, you got to come hear me talk and give you the whole presentation about why it's so important to do problem solving, do problem solving, do customer service. And customer service is basically getting into the weeds, which you have to come and learn what the weeds are. And gratitude is basically saying thank you. I have learned through my years of doing this in my career and now my business that when you stop and say thank you, magic happens. So that's me in a nutshell. Collect the cash. See Roden. Thank you. Woo-hoo!
See, that was a great pitch.
Thank you. Now wait a minute. I got kudos from the pitch master. Oh, come on now. Listen. Listen. What had happened? Listen, look, Lotus. What had happened was Well, that's a great question, Dr. Lotus. That's easy. First of all, when you're in business, you start out your business because you think you have a solution to a problem. That's what it is. You fry the best chicken, you make the best cookies, you sell the best lingerie, whatever. But is how to declare what you do, make it make sense, and then connect with the people is that part. And then of course with the Colonel, listen, first of all, you serve that country. What else is there to say? So first of all, thank you for serving our country. But seriously, if you expect to get better in business and in life, you have to be willing to invest in yourself. So thank you, Dr. Lotus, for putting us together as authors, because each of us who are authors, we started out by saying we want to make a difference. When I wrote Collect the Cash during COVID, it was because of what happened to me personally. Y'all have to come back next month to hear the whole story about what had happened was that part. It really is, or what had happened was. And when you see the commercial, you're like, oh my gosh, it really, and that's what my shirt says, what had happened was. But seriously, in order for you to get better, you have to make investments. Sometimes people do investments through books. Sometimes people do investments by going back to school. They take classes, they enroll in SBA, they go to SCORE, they do all the things. But here's the thing. It's a collective experience that is what makes you better. The person you get to see today is because I've invested in myself. I have sat and listened to Precious Williams tell her story, I don't know how many times. But I finally said, okay, now I can do my own pitch. And I just got an endorsement from her today. Come through. It pays to invest in yourself by listening and then executing. Because y'all, listen, y'all got plenty of notebooks. Y'all got plenty of notebooks. It goes from listening to execution, course correction, and then do it again.
Amen. So true, so true. Well, I'd like to, I always end with a song. And my song is, Precious Lord, take my hand, lead me on till I stand. I'm so tired, I am weak, I am worn through the storm, through the night. Lead me on to the light, precious Lord. Take my hand and lead me home.
Amen. Hey, I'm doing great. Great to be here.
Get it, get it, get it, get it, get it.
Yeah. Praise God. That's awesome. That's really awesome.
Okay, wow, what an incredible event. This has just been absolutely outstanding today. Lotus, you have really brought it today with these wonderful authors and speakers. This has just been absolutely amazing. I am a financial educator. I educate women about money and how money works. You know, 2 out of 3 adults do not know how money works. They cannot answer basic questions about finance. So my crusade and my mission is to educate my community about money so that they can make smart financial decisions for their families. Because financial stress is the leading cause of child abuse, spousal abuse, and suicide. And that absolutely has to change. It has to change because in the land of opportunity, more people are experiencing financial frustration
than financial freedom and independence. So my mission and my crusade is to educate my community. Also, September is Life Insurance Awareness Month, and a lot of us don't have life insurance. And it's critical that we have life insurance so that we can leave a legacy. We're supposed to leave a legacy 3 generations, the current generation, the generation above us, and then the next generation. Because the Bible says that a prudent man or woman leaves a legacy to the next generation. So that's what I'm about, helping my community to become financially independent and leaving a legacy to the next generation. Tracy Oriomi, and I am complete. I yield the mic back to you, Dr. Lolo.
Can't hear you.
Hear you.
Amen.
Amen. It's mine. It's mine. And I know. The reason why I came here, came to the event, was I wanted to get out of my shell. I had my life. I'm a survivor through hell and back, and I just wanted to tell my story and to educate women who experiences the same thing, that they can survive. One of the things that I always cherish is when my grandmother was transitioning, she said, "No one can tell your story but you, and nobody can walk the shoes like you do." So she said, "Share your story." She said, "Because you're here for a reason." And I know that now. So I appreciate this event, because I'm not the only one who has gone through hell and back. Precious, we know one another. And I thank you. And Dr. Fournier, thank you so much for that story. Your story. It warmed my heart. It really did. And I'm getting the book. It's just, you'll see I'm getting the book. When I say I do something, I will. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, so much. I just want to quickly say that I have an event coming up, a free event called Praying for the Impossible. When man says no, you can always turn to God, because God will say yes. So the tickets are on Eventbrite, and it is under praying for the impossible on the 23rd. So I'm inviting all of you guys to come. I would love to have you. I'm going to pray a prayer out of my book, God's Simple Plan for Your Business and for Your Personal Life. Always start with God and he will turn things around in your favor. So I got to catch up with Dr. Lotus so I can get this book published. So I want to share one of the prayers out of there as a closeout. So Lord God, when man says yes, you say yes. But when a man says no, God, you come forward and you say otherwise. You give us a yes. Your word says to those who ask, it will be given. To those who seek, it will be found. And to those who knock, the door will be open, or you will cause a door to come to us. Thank you for a breakthrough. Thank you for your power in our lives. Lord, we say yes to your will, yes to your way, and yes to your walk. You have promised that if we do exactly as you called us to do, and we're obedient and speedily taking care of what it is you've asked us to come forward and do, that Lord, you will show up and you will make everything right for us. You'll put us on the right road, God. You'll shine a light on us, God, and we'll have more than we've ever expected. Lord Jesus, we know that you love us. We know that you will comfort us, for you give us grace, you give us hope, and you give us the power and the peace for our lives each and every day. We bless you in your son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. Amen.
Thank you for watching the show. And be sure to follow us on Instagram. Like and share and let us know that you care. Also, let us know what other type of shows you'd like us to present just for you. Thank you. Thank you.